I'm going to do something no professional golfer has ever done before, and that's give a cut of my earnings to you. But there's a catch. I was about 6 months into my professional career and I was prepping for Q school and I had an accident and I ended up getting a herniated disc in my neck. That caused me to have to step away from the game. So before I had this accident, I had a decorated amateur career, played in the US Amateur at Pebble Beach. I won an MGA championship, which is the Northeast Premier Amateur Golf Association, one of the most competitive in the country. I shot career rounds such as a 66 at Bethpage Black in the New York State Amateur, something that not many people have done. I went to the University of Tampa and set multiple records there, including the lowest score ever shot in a conference championship. So I ended up securing sponsorship, and right when I secured sponsorship, I turned pro. And this was during COVID, so the PGA Tour and the Korn Ferry Tour had completely shut down. I was living in Florida at the time, and there was only one tour that was hosting tournaments in Florida. So I sent it from West Palm Beach, Jupiter area of Florida, over to live with my buddy in Tampa. Basically lived on his couch. We had a social media account. We started posting content and we quickly rose from 0 to about 10,000 followers. We had millions of views, hundreds of thousands of likes, and we were starting to build a community around us and around my golf content. And I was playing on the West Florida Golf Tour. So in those first 4 events as a professional, those fields were packed with PGA Tour players, Korn Ferry players, PGA Tour Latin American players, PGA Tour Canada players, and really anyone who was trying to compete was there. There was a player who was 50th ranked player in the world at the time playing in those events. And it was the 4th event that I played in that was that tour's Winter Tour Championship, where I actually placed around 12th place and won my first check and ended up tying that 50th ranked player in the world. So that was kind of the start that I wanted, and it kind of gave me the confidence to say, hey, you belong here. You just beat a lot of guys that are already out there on tour, tied this guy who's 50th ranked player in the world. So then for me, it was go time. I remember waking up and my tricep was what was bothering me. So, getting MRIs on my tricep and my shoulder, the doctor's telling me that I had tricep tendonitis. So I was rehabbing tricep tendonitis for, 6 to 8 months. And for anyone that has rehabbed any tendonitis before, it's usually 4 to 6 weeks and, you go back to your sport. So that's exactly what I was doing. Meanwhile, that process was just messing up the disc issue in my neck. The nerve was pinched up in my spine. And that was affecting the way that my nerve sends signals down my arm. At one point, I had full muscle atrophy in my left arm. That's why I had pain in my arm. So it took me a long time to get the correct diagnosis. And then we just started steamrolling the correct type of rehab for my injury. So I did about a year of rehab, trying to get back to 100%, and nothing was really working. I did, 6 months of chiropractic work, acupuncture, massage therapy. I really tried everything. I changed my diet completely. I got rid of all inflammatory foods that were in my diet. Try to just have the cleanest diet possible. But nothing really was working to get me back to 100% health. And although I made some progress in that first year, that's what eventually made me step away from the game. I had lost my sponsor at that point. That put everything on hold. That put the progress on hold. That put the content on hold. That put the community I was building on hold. And really it put the dream on standby. The one thing that I didn't put on standby was the rehab. Really, I never really stopped doing the rehab and always looking for a solution. It was a very unique injury. A lot of people recover from herniated disc issues, but that injury misdiagnosed originally. I'd really done a lot of damage to my nerve root in my neck that runs down that nerve line. So the challenge from here on out was, how can I get my left arm to function properly again? It was about a year ago where I got to a certain point and I said, hey, I'm feeling better. I think I'm going to give this another shot. So I was able to secure sponsorship funding once again. My goal was just to try to get to the PGA Tour as quickly as possible. And for me, what that journey looked like was getting status on a new tour, which is a developmental tour for the PGA Tour called PGA Tour Americas. They had combined PGA Tour Canada with PGA Tour Latin America to make this one tour, PGA Tour Americas. So I went down to South America, which is where the tour started, and tried to Monday qualify into events. I did about 3 Monday qualifiers, and it was at this point I realized I just wasn't quite back to 100%. Although I was playing again and I was putting rounds together, I think I made 5 birdies down in Brazil. So playing well, if you're not 100% at this level, you have no chance. I spoke with my sponsors and we decided to do this stem cell injection, which is something that I've heard about in the past, but it's quite an expensive procedure. I ended up getting 6 stem cell injections directly into my spine, which was not fun, but I was going to do whatever it takes to get back on the course and competing again. And that rehab process with a stem cell injection, it can take 9 to 12 months after getting those stem cell injections for that recovery process to take full effect, right? So I'm at month 7 right now. After 7 months of more grueling rehab, more focused rehab, I can happily say that I'm feeling back to 100% right now. At this point in my golf career, a lot of downs and not a lot of ups. So this is the first up we've had in a while, and I'm trying to take full advantage of it. But the thing is, I have no interest left from sponsors. I got no resume to really go out there and say, hey, look, this is what I've been doing. So that's where I turn to you guys. I'm looking to build a community of people who support me and support my dream. And I'm going to give you guys a front row seat to exactly what that looks like. I'm someone that's never going to give up on my dream. So I look to you guys through social media. I'm trying to build this community. I'm going to be doing a lot of IRL streams on the golf course. So pretty much every time I play a round of golf, I'm going to be live. If I'm playing tournaments and coming home, I'm going to be streaming, talking about those tournaments. If I'm practicing throughout the day, I'm going to be telling you, what exactly I'm practicing on. What am I struggling with? What are my challenges? So I'm trying to build a community of people I can bounce ideas off of, seek encouragement from, and really just work together as one, entity to make my dream a reality. That's my goal. And to do all that, I need your help. I want to build a community of like-minded people, and I want to give back to that community. So I want to do something that no professional golfer has ever done before, and that's give a cut of my earnings back to you guys.